Hey guys, Solomon here, and welcome to the finale of Let's Play Costume Quest. So last time, we finished exploring Fall Valley, we made our way through the corn maze, and now we are only moments away from the final battle. However, there is one last thing I'd like to cover before that, and that's something I glanced over in the last episode, and that is the Grubbin costume. So I'm actually going to return to Auburn Pines real fast to show this off, but when you're wearing the Grubbin costume, you actually will not get into combat. You can walk all around other monsters, you can hit them with your pail. I'm actually going to get a better angle on this so you can see I'm actually hitting him, and then it's acknowledging that I'm hitting him. And you can't get into battles. I guess it's just normal for monsters to hit other monsters, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so that would have made it a really useful costume probably a lot earlier in the game. Because the battles are pretty annoying in this game, and I'd rather not have to fight most of them if I can help it. It's kind of weird they give it to you this late in the game for just one last puzzle before the end, but... Actually, let me tell you what's weirder. This costume gives you an attack bonus. You can't actually use the Grubbin costume in battle, and yet it has an attack bonus tied to it. And I don't really understand that at all. Oh well, it is what it is, so let's switch back to the robot costume. Let's head up the hill here, and let's get this show on the road. So, the reason I'm in the robot costume is twofold. One, in order to get up this hill, we actually need the robot costume to get up these little slopes here. But the other reason is because for Reynold, I'm going to be sticking him in the robot costume for the finale, because it seems only appropriate that he should open and close the series in his starting costume. So let's just break the rest of these pumpkins, collect every little piece of candy that's left, and here we are. Back where it all started, this area. So now I want to start changing up my setup here. So let's start by getting Reynold. Well, no, Reynold stays in the robot costume. I already said why. Everett, I want to switch into the pumpkin costume, because that's pretty high damage and everything. Lucy, I want to say I want to keep her in the unicorn costume, but I don't know if I want to. Because I'd rather put her in the spaceman costume, because later on we're going to want that high damage output. You know what, screw it, we'll keep her in the unicorn costume, at least for now. So now let's look at our battle stamps here. So I want to keep Reynold on the vegetarian, which is Brew. I want to keep Everett on the jawbone of the wolf. But for Lucy, I want to switch her to the rotten egg. Because although stun will not work on this boss, we want to have stun for a very good reason. And all the better if that stun can do a bit of damage while we're at it. So, now that we have our costume set, we have our badges set, let's switch my controller back so I have the right control scheme, and let's go fight Dorsilla. Now, you have to admit, this is a pretty badass way to start the final confrontation. Oh look, and she's even playing along as well. How nice of her. You can't even tell that we've been a thorn in her side for a while. Oh, but Ren. Ren, I don't think these are the kind of people you want to appreciate you. Yeah, come on, Ren. Come back with us. We have to stick together like two pieces of candy. In a bat bucket. For trick-or-treating. Wait, we're all coming along? To a magical world? Where you'll be a queen? And we'll be royalty as well? Will I be the Prince of Halloween? Alright! And for 1,000 years at that! Ha-ha! Oh. Oh, that doesn't sound good at all. I don't think I like that. Did I call you nice earlier? I take that back. You're a meanie! We're not going anywhere. Ren's coming with us. We're keeping our candy. And we're keeping our costumes. Ooh, scary. So now it's time for the final battle against Dorsilla. So, when fighting Dorsilla, there are 3 special moves she has that you have to keep an eye out for. So, let's go ahead and open this round with a standard round of attacks. Because she's not going to do anything until after at least the first round of attacks. And I also want to show off that, no, you cannot stun her, but we will get a bit of a hint in this fight. Although she appears to be unstunnable, it does seem to distract her. So, hopefully we'll get to see that. Though I have had a fight or two where she doesn't always use the move where that hint will be necessary. So let's just keep up the pressure, and the sooner we get her health down, the better. Alright, so here's the first of her special moves. She will actually kidnap one of our teammates and put them in a cage of vines that will damage them at the end of every turn. What we want to do is attack the cage, because the sooner we get our party member out, the sooner we can get them back in on the action. And so long as you free them before the start of their turn, in the normal turn order, they will have a chance to attack as well. So we got back Lucy's turn just now. There's All Hallows Eve. It will do about 400 damage on a boss, usually. Sometimes less, but oh well. And so far we're doing pretty okay. Uh-oh. So here's that move that we were given a hint for earlier. The idea is you'll want to use a stun move on her while she's doing this attack, because it will take her 3 turns to charge it up, and on the 4th turn she will unleash a devastating attack that could easily KO either Reynold or Everett if you're not careful. And that's why I'm attacking her, because she's very vulnerable while she's doing this attack. So I'm going to keep this up until... I'll actually probably hit her with a stun this round, because I want to make sure she has an opportunity to show off her other special move. So let's go ahead and knock her out of that with a stun. And there you have it. So let's see if she'll use that other special move. Nope, she's just going to use this one again. So now Everett's the one trapped in the cage. So let's liberate him with science and machines and missiles, because missiles save the day every time. Now, like I said, I do want to try to show off her other special move, so I'm going to purposely extend the battle a bit until she uses it. Hopefully she'll use it. She might not actually use it. Okay, this could be bad if it turns out that she's not going to use it. Alright, let's just screw up some of these attacks then, to ensure that she has a chance to use it, because I don't want... I want her to use it so I can show it off. I don't know if she'll survive another round of screwing around, though. Ah, here it is. This is her other special move. She splits into 3 copies of herself, and each of them will have the same HP as she does. So this can be pretty bad if you have it early on in the fight, but here's the thing about the clones. They will take damage a lot more easily than the real Dorsilla, and by luck I actually happened to hit the real Dorsilla there. Imagine that. But in any case, if you hit a clone, it will do a lot more damage. Upwards of like 1,000 damage with Reynold or Everett here. So even Lucy can actually take out one of them at this point in the fight. So yeah, the idea is you want to take out the clones as soon as possible, because all of them will be able to attack you with standard attacks that can hurt pretty hard, and Dorsilla here will be able to use all of her other moves at the same time. I don't think she can use the cage one, though, because there's a 3 limit on the enemy side of the battle. But in any case, we pretty much got this in the bag. So let's finish her off, and there you have it. Oh, jeez. Wait, what? It only did... Oh! So that's how it works. I'm guessing there's an upper limit to how much it can take off, because it's supposed to half her HP, and it actually halved her HP. Wow. Okay, so that's actually how it works. That's actually really interesting to know now. Alright, but just like that, we beat Dorsilla, we got another battle stamp, and it looks like we may have saved Ren. Oh, Dorsilla, didn't you know you were always destined to be defeated by children? Well, what about your brother? He understands you, doesn't he? By the way, why is the Ferris wheel moving right now? Didn't the Grubbins, like, destroy it earlier? Did they repair it that quickly? I don't know. In any case, now we need to prepare ourselves for the real final battle. So I'm going to leave Reynold as the robot, for reasons I've stated before. We'll leave Everett as the pumpkin, because we want to have his high damage special. And, what do I want to do with Lucy? Because healing would be nice in this battle, and I've had lots of times where not going with healing often gets me killed. Shoot, I really don't know what I want to do here. You know what? Screw it. We're gonna go space. No, actually. Let's go vampire. Alright, so let's start setting our battle stamps accordingly. So the new stamp we got is the No-Eyed Vampire Bat, which gives you a lot of HP regen per turn. Let's give this to Lucy since she's the vampire and has the lowest stats out of everyone. Everett, why is your... Wait a second. I want to check something. Hold on, let me check something. Ninja. That is so weird. Apparently, the stamps that give you extra attack power also depend on the attack power of your costume. That's really strange. Huh. Alright, well, whatever. Let's go ahead and put Everett back on the pumpkin costume, because I do want that more than the ninja. And I think we're ready for the final battle. So, let's talk to Dorsilla. And we're going to have to bother her 3 times in order to start the final battle. So here's time number 3, and here we go. Oh, is it now? Backup? Uh-oh. That doesn't look good at all. Big bones. Oh my... Oh no. Oh. Apparently he's stuck. Well, that's good, I guess? Ah, so this is Dorsilla's boss. And I think we're in trouble. I don't think you want to make the giant skeleton man angry at you. Wait a minute, what's that? Is something speaking? Oh, it's the speaker Dorian gave us. Well, what does it have to say? It has a message from Dorsilla? Oh, this must be something she said to Dorian earlier. Oh. So that was her plan all along. Queen indeed. Well, Dorsilla, how's it feel to have the shoe on the other foot? That's karma. Yep, he's mad. Oh, wow, he's really mad. He's screaming candy and sugar. Well, that's it. Deal's off. And we've taken care of Dorsilla! Hooray! Oh, good. Oh. We're in trouble. Or are we? Looks like Dorsilla is giving us a helping hand at the last minute. Nice little bit of payback against her old boss, like that. So now it's time for the real final battle against Big Bones. No thanks, I'd rather not go in your stomach. So, what exactly did Dorsilla do? I have no idea. I'm gonna take a guess and say she made us strong enough to actually be able to hurt Big Bones normally? Because, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like if that was their intention, it would have been a lot better if they made his HP, like, instead of 4,000, 40,000? And then, like, multiplied the damage we can do by, say, 1,000. Like, that I feel would be a much better proximity of making us powerful enough to actually fight Big Bones. I guess, look at this guy. He's like a titan. A colossus, even. Oh, yeah, I guess I should be talking about the fight, shouldn't I? For this first phase, it's pretty standard. Just attack, attack, attack. Defend whenever he tries to hit everyone. And he does a lot of damage, so make sure you're prepared for that. So let's go ahead and missile barrage him, set him on fire, also poison him. All Hallows Eve for a nice 400 damage, more or less. Less more than more, I guess. And Bat on Hair for a bit of healing, because Everett actually needs a bit. Not as much as I would have loved, but enough. Alright. So, until he hits half health, the battle is pretty standard. It's nothing more than us attacking him and him attacking back. Hitting kinda hard, but not that hard. But what we really want to do is, we want to save our specials for his last phase, because I guess you can say there are 3 phases to his fight, and once he drops below half HP, he technically starts his second phase, where he starts using this attack. It hits quite hard, does a lot of damage, and it's just really cheap, because you can't block it, you can't know who he's going to hit with it, because it's on the spur. There's no charge up time or anything. It's just he randomly attacks one of your party members and does a lot of damage. There's really no easy way around that. So what we really want to do is get to his last phase, which we can easily accomplish by attacking him. Now I could use Missile Barrage there, but things change once he drops to below like 1250 HP. Mainly this. This is why I wanted to save my specials, because his HP is now maxed and fixed at 1077. So if I drop below 1077, it goes back to 1077. So what we want to do, we want to use our specials here and KO him as fast as possible. We do not want him to stay alive for more than 1 or 2 rounds, because he will destroy us. And this is why right here. Imagine if I did not defend that. It would have KO'd Everett. And even then, the splash damage is pretty bad. We want to take care of Big Bones ASAP. And what's more, he will still use that attack from earlier. The one that will more or less KO a party member, which you can't block. And you know what the worst part is? You can't defend from that, and I think it's a lot more powerful so that it will KO a party member. But by some management of luck, I actually managed to defeat him. So there you have it. That's the final boss. And really all I can say is his final phase is just stupidly hard. It kind of comes down to luck whether or not you beat him. Because if once he takes out one of your party members, unless you have a revival move or something, you can't really beat him. But we managed it. We saved the day. We saved Ren. And Dorian's helping us to return the candy to all the kids from which it was stolen. Hooray! Now, can I also just say one thing about this ending? Why is Ren suddenly friendly with us again? I don't know. This is just... like there wasn't closure for that, was there? Like, suddenly she was angry with us, and now she's suddenly happy with us? Like, why? There was no closure at all. Well, in any case, the game's over. Ren's safe. We stopped Big Bones and the Repugians. And now we're back safe at home with Mom and Dad and our friends Lucy and Everett. Hooray! We actually made friends tonight. The very thing our mom wanted us to do, we actually did it. Aww. Yeah, stop embarrassing us. Oh, what's Dad up to? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, don't be greedy, Dad. Actually, no, it's a little late now, but I want you guys to... You did see it, right? You did see how Reynold and Ren's parents looked a bit like Dorian and Dorsilla, at least in the eyes, right? Now, I don't have any evidence to confirm this, and this is just my own speculation. How weird would it be if it turns out Dorian and Dorsilla are actually related to Reynold and Ren? Like, would that not be such a huge twist? If they were actually fighting like their cousins all along? And in a sense, I also like to think of that as a reason for why Dorian helped us to stop Dorsilla. Because maybe, like, at least for the way I chose my party members, maybe he was afraid Ren would turn out the same way as Dorsilla, and he wanted to, like, set us on the right path to help build up the relationship between Reynold and Ren. I don't know. Again, that's just speculation. It's probably not true, but that would be one heck of a twist if it turns out they were all related. Well, in any case, that's Costume Quest. What did I think of it? Well, it was a pretty standard RPG. Like, pretty simple, nothing that complicated. You had attack, you had HP, you had attacks, special attacks, and occasionally the battle stamps that had other stuff for you to do. It was all pretty simple. Simple, but fun. I'd definitely say it's a good game to play if you want to get introduced to the RPG genre. But that's not to say they didn't do certain things that I didn't agree with. Like, again, one of the things I really hated about the battle mechanics was just the fact that it was so easily broken once you had, like, 1 or 2 stun moves. You could literally stun lock the enemy and never have to worry about battles ever again. And there was no variety in the enemies at all throughout the entire game, with the exception of the bosses. You had no enemies that were resistant to stun, you had no enemies that were, like, resistant to poison or anything. Like, you could literally stun everything and just get through the game that way. I really wish there was more variety. I wish there was, like, an actual reason to consider strategy in the game. Because by the midpoint, you don't really need more strategy than just stun everything. I'll say this much. The bosses were definitely one of those points where, like, that essence of strategy really shined. Because you actually had to change up your tactics. You couldn't just stun lock the boss. You had to actually realize what they were doing. You had to counter their attacks or otherwise target particular parts of the battle. Like, it's just, there was strategy with the boss fights that I really enjoyed. Now, I can't say the same thing about the final boss, because for the most part, that battle just comes down to a bit of luck as to whether or not you actually beat him. It's just, that final phase, he just gets so ridiculously overpowered, and, like, all it really takes is for one of your party members to get taken out, and that's it. Like, trust me, you didn't see it there, but if he took out a single party member, that would have severely limited my output per, like, just my entire my damage per round, I guess. And, like, you wouldn't be able to beat him. You really have to rush through that last part. And I guess that's strategy as well. But even then, it's still a bit of luck as to whether or not he actually KOs an enemy, one of your allies or not, and stuff. I don't know. The battle mechanics need a lot of work, in my opinion, and I don't know. Costume Quest 2 is out now. Maybe they fixed them by then. Who knows? Concerning the story was pretty good. A bit subpar, honestly. I still don't really understand why Ren forgave us so quickly. Like, there was literally no transition. Before the Dorsilla fight, she was absolutely livid with us. And then after the Big Bones fight, she's just all smiles, like, oh, don't worry, Reynold. Of course you do this all the time. Actually, that's kind of a sad way to put it, but my point is, it was just such a jarring change in my opinion. I didn't really like it that much. No enemy variety, the story was kind of bland in the long run, and kind of, I don't know, kind of weird in some places, I guess. The camera, I mentioned the camera earlier, that's kind of weird. I don't know, I guess all in all, the game is fun, it's simple, but it needs work. And there are definitely better RPGs out there I would suggest to people. For instance, I would actually suggest Bravely Default. That's a really good RPG, honestly. If you really want to get into RPGs, that's one of the ones I would definitely recommend. So, that was Costume Quest. Now, you might also notice there is another game here, Grubbins on Ice. This is a DLC game that comes with Costume Quest, at least on Steam. And I'm actually probably going to Let's Play this sometime in the winter. Maybe not during December, but perhaps in January. Because it is a continuation of the Costume Quest story in the winter. But that is for another time. For now, this is Solomon the Stars signing off. Thank you all for watching, and have a happy Halloween! Oh, I really hope I didn't peak the mic with that.